I think now is the time really to do a sort of bedtime story. It's early in the morning, getting on for 9 o'clock, and frankly, I've just been picking up a story that makes me just want to crawl back into bed, and it's so depressing. Handlebar Mustache says, "Don't know if any of this is any significance, but I have been unsubbed from your channel over this last few days by the YouTube algorithm. Been around 4 years since YouTube last unsubbed me from a channel. The strange ways in which YouTube operates still holds the power to mystify." Oh, absolutely. I mean, YouTube is this place where dreams can be made, crushed, sometimes remonetized with limited ads. It's a very strange organization where you can't actually get hold of anybody in charge. Let's start with the censorship. This nebulous spectre, this nemuphar of nonsense. One day you're sharing your thoughts on 18th century knitting techniques, and the next you're banned for a violation of community guidelines. What guidelines, you might ask? Well, no one really knows. It's like playing Monopoly with a board that's half drawn, using pieces from Scrabble, and the only rule is don't make YouTube mad. They're not censoring the dangerous stuff, no. Even harmless channels, think of someone reading bedtime stories to puppies, can suddenly find themselves demonetized. It's like thinking, it's like assuming that everything you're putting out is dominated by the big bad wolf. Too violent for the puppies, maybe. And then there's the mystery of unsubbing, and I've heard this a few times. When you click subscribe and a week later you notice that somehow you've been unsubscribed, as if YouTube is conducting a digital exorcism of its users. You were so committed to following that you see a channel about DIY llama grooming, and you think this is it, and suddenly it never appears again on your feed because your subscription wasn't real. And it's like the friend who promises to take a group photo and then keeps accidentally cropping you out. Sorry, you must have been something to do with the algorithm. It's that ever cryptic algorithm, YouTube's answer to my dog ate my homework. And speaking of algorithms, the AI overlords now govern the land of YouTube, including the increasing role of approving merchandise, of sorting out cyber warfare, and so on. You've got a brilliant idea to sell custom T-shirts, or in my case, political mugs, with an inside joke from your channel like algorithm approved. But what does the AI see? Approved is somehow misspelt. Algorithm ranked is somehow misspelt. It's like it wants to find fault. And suddenly you're stuck in the digital dungeon for peddling black market software. Or if you're lucky, your T-shirt gets lumped in with a knockoff Gucci bag and dodgy fidget spinners, courtesy of the same AI that can't tell a T-shirt from a torrent site. And it's really frustrating. I've been caught in this situation where I've been trying to promote mugs, not really to make much of a profit, but simply because people have this line of merchandise under their YouTube videos, and I thought, oh, well, I design my own drawings. I might as well put them on mugs. But the process of doing so leads to hours and hours and hours of frustrating form filling, where you don't actually know what you're supposed to be ticking and approving and doing, because the system is too complex. Now, I've come to the conclusion the system is complex because it doesn't want any individual to achieve. It wants you to go to these YouTube approved or Google approved management sites which take a cut, and they will do nothing. I've been handled by one or two of those, and it's been a misery. And nothing has been done. They've done all their sort of let's analyze your channel. Well, software exists to be able to do that yourself. You don't need one of those YouTube approved management sites to do that. And it's really uncomfortable. My argument has always been, since being on reality TV, that management is an important part of the deal, because it's very difficult to move ahead in this system without management. The bit of the brain which is creative is not really the bit of the brain which deals with that sort of management complexity. But managers don't do that anymore, or at least the managers who approach me don't seem to want to do that. The managers just want to take the money. And then you get to pirate sites. Not the swashbuckling yo-ho-ho, Tim Curry, the Pirate King. No. Though I remember Tim Curry as the Pirate King in, I think, the Queen's Theatre. Wonderful show. And such an interesting innovation. It's something I'm trying to do myself, to take Gilbert and Sullivan and update the orchestration, and it changes the entire experience from crypto opera with quite a small orchestra to big musical, and you suddenly see Gilbert and Sullivan where its place is in the development of the American musical. But imagine you've just posted a new video on a site on how to make the perfect cup of tea. Before you've even taken your first sip, a bot has uploaded it to a shady website called teathieves.com, and you're stuck with one view while they're raking in the profits. YouTube's solution? Probably demonetize your video for violating terms of service, because obviously the real crime is that you didn't invite the algorithm to your tea party. And let's not forget cyber attacks. Just when you thought things couldn't get more exciting, your favorite creator's channel suddenly turns into a 24/7 cryptocurrency trading platform. I was here for crochet tutorials. Why is my grandmother's crochet channel selling Dogecoin? There's some crypto comments that turn up often in my channel. I've finally learned how to hide them and remove them, but they keep coming back with different names. And what's extraordinary is the way they operate. Is you get one comment, and there are about 300 comments attached to that one comment. I don't know how they do it. It's very clever. It's a very clever piece of attack, because it gives the impression that it's an organic process. It's not. YouTube security is about as robust as a wet paper bag in a rainstorm. They'll fix it eventually, of course, probably right after they finish unsubscribing all your followers, demonetizing your dog's birthday video. So my approach with YouTube is to like everything, to acknowledge that people have been kind enough to add a comment, even if I don't agree with it. And very rarely, now that I've finally discovered the tools, will I block somebody. Very, very rarely. But some people go too far with their comments. And the criteria on which I would block somebody, if they're nasty to somebody else, nasty to me, I just get frustrated and move on. Occasionally I would do a video to respond, but for the most part, I don't acknowledge it. And as for the Russian bots, well, I'm intrigued by the improvement in grammar sometimes, but There's lots of them. There's lots of them. I wish they would just stick to Cyrillic, because it makes it so much easier. And at least then I know exactly what they're trying to say. But I don't think they're really trying to say anything. I think this is part of the Russian confusion. Just make noises, just take up space. And that, I think, is the Prigozhin plan. That, I think, is what was intended with the bot factories or the bot farms. It's not about what they say, it's about saying something at all. YouTube, in so many ways, is like that one eccentric uncle at a family reunion. Unpredictable, occasionally brilliant, but often confusing and prone to spontaneous fits of unreasonable behaviour. And we love him. We just wish he'd stop hiding our stuff and banning us from the buffet for reasons that no one can quite explain. So, for myself, I want to celebrate YouTube. It's a platform that's both in equal parts frustrating and fascinating. And I hope one day the algorithm learns to appreciate the finer points of llama grooming and tea making. But at the moment, I appreciate there's a lot to be frustrated about.